Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order. On a special day, unfortunately, Thursday, September 11th. That date is always in everyone's memory, I think. Thursday, September 11th at 5:08. Let's call the meeting to order. As always, we'll do a quick round of introductions since we're on SCTV. I'm J.D. Miller, I'm the chair. I will go to my left.
Kenzie Vandenberg, representing South Shore Elder Services.
Elaine Shabari, liaison for FOSS.
Lori Brady, board member.
Dee Dwyer, board member.
Bethany O'Connor, board member.
Pat Calton, board member. Russ Ballin, board member.
Anna Morse, board member.
Linda Kelly, director.
Welcome all. We, due to some technical errors,
Shame on
What
you.
are those errors?
Give me a break.
technical issues,
The printer running out of toner.
we don't have a full set of minutes from last month's meeting, so we will.
But they are complete.
Yes.
And they are emailed to you all at this time. So you got an agenda this week, which I apologize, I also usually print ahead of time, but hadn't. So we have one that JD can use, but you have an electronic agenda and you have electronic minutes. But
We will defer minutes, August minutes until next month. Very simple. Which then leads us to Linda Kelly.
okay, well, I have no company tonight, so we would have had Kelly joining us on a regular basis as assistant director, but she was sending her son off to Greece tonight, so
Oh,
wow.
she got a pass for that, emotional. And we have new staffing, as you will be
I was
more aware, but
was
it was
just-
just a little too soon for all of that.
Informally
So,
telling people about that.
yeah, so I guess that's part of my report anyway. So, yes, I'll go in order, I guess. So you do have my report. You know, we're looking at 45, which is pretty consistent new registrations, although I will say it seems like 2, 3, 4 people are coming in all the time to register themselves and to use the senior center and to get a little tour if we're able to do that or someone is. And yesterday I missed this, but someone had come in and one of our very best and lovely volunteers apparently gave her enough attention and help that she emailed me to say what a nice experience it had been meeting and learning about the senior center, and she looks forward to participating more because she had such a great first experience with this volunteer, Catherine Hogan. So that's very nice. That's always nice to see in your inbox, and I already told her, which was very nice. So that is nice.
Catherine Hogan someone who normally handles that?
Well, she's a front desk volunteer.
Okay.
That's as much as is regular, but yes,
Yep.
they could be asked. I mean, one of us could step in and do a
Sure.
tour, but
Just wondering.
if she's willing, she likes to do it.
Good.
We still have building use happening. Last night, I think there were 3 meetings at the same time. Everything went fine, right?
What? You didn't see that mess that we left? We were fine. Rotary's fine.
Yep, Rotary's here a couple times a month. Others are monthly meetings. The Garden Club is here next week, for instance, for their membership meeting. And in April, they do the public meeting, so they're good guests as well. We do have the student bocce team, which again did it last fall for 6 weeks when the weather permits, and so that's very nice to be able to do that for them. We received more monies in memory of another loss in the community, Dennis Cody, so upwards to $400, I guess, maybe we received for him. And Mullins donations in her memory, were substantial, and so in the report, I do mention we did have Kennedy Gardens put in some new shrubbery and bushes at the entrance at the sign, which will be in her memory, and we'll probably put a sign out there for her. But also a tree in the backyard that was dead, and hopefully this one lasts. It's another dogwood, so they replaced that as well. in this room I mentioned last time, but we have approved, and it's a little costly, but it's about $6,000 at this point, maybe before the countertop that will go in as part of the cabinetry for storage. So that took a while just to decide how exactly it should go, one high, some low, and the Corian countertop that I think we'll use to connect them all instead of the loose table. So it'll be good. Everybody's excited about that. And hopefully they install at the end of September because the room starts to get more used with the grief groups restarting 2 times a week, but twice a month for both. So that said, it's a lot, plus the social day program, plus the other random uses for the room. And on that note, our new half-day on Friday mornings, which began this summer with Alex coordinating, and also our intern, Lucy, as volunteer. We are still going to seek, I think, a regular volunteer, as well as Lucy, but she's certainly been a big help. And Kelly has been coordinating the communication with the people on the wait list, who we have, we meet with before bringing them into the program, just to make sure it's good timing and a good fit. It isn't always, so it actually, and some people have started as a trial and decided it wasn't for them either. So that's still been taking a little bit of time to get to the full 8, but it's going well otherwise. We did have our Brown Brothers celebration, which went well, albeit inside. So it was supposed to be a nice outdoor community event. But it was a nice indoor, sort of a lot of our regulars, and I think we ended up with about 110 to 120 in here. They enjoyed themselves, the Brown Brothers, and really they were a hit. So at this point I thought everybody knew about them, but really some people had never heard them, and they were very happy. So it was a nice choice and a good event. Our live virtual tours continue this month in Rome. So last month it was Barcelona, and I think we might have reported on that. That one wasn't quite as easy to follow or understand as the Paris one had been, so we gave them feedback. And they're walking, the first one at least in Paris, they were walking in the streets and conversing, and she was laughing and she was fun, and she had questions for the crowd that they could respond to, as well as dealing with our questions to her. This one was a little more finite. He was in a lot of alleys. I've been to Barcelona, and it's true, but it was just not expansive. He wasn't in somewhere that you could really see the whole of, and he wasn't as interactive. He did a lot of historical, he passed on a lot of historical information. It was good, but it just wasn't quite the same for the audience. So we hope the Rhone one is more so, and in fact they changed, based on our feedback, they sort of changed the sites that they're going to. And
Yeah, that's gotta be a joke.
I'm sure it is, and I know the area now going towards the Coliseum, so it is more wide open, and there is sort of more to point to and for people viewing on camera to see. So I do think it's a good idea. And we also changed it from, well, funny, the first one was at 9:30, the second one was at 10:30, and just because of classes happening at the same time, we had a few complaints, so we did move it to 11 to accommodate anyone who might want to come who was also doing early for exercise. So are we accommodating? So we'll see how that goes. Third time's a charm, I hope, and we'll see if we continue. We haven't signed on for more yet, but it's a nice option. So today, and then again scheduled for September 25th, 2 weeks from now. I want to give credit to Gail, really. She sort of came up with it in lieu of trying to do another open house, which we had done once. But just to generate a little bit more, not to say interest in coming in and hearing more, but just giving them a good reason maybe to try. So also for some housekeeping, so we were giving out this packet that Gail put together as a back-to-school sort of fun connection.
Giving it out to everybody who walks in the door?
Well, not necessarily, and maybe we should do that, but this time it was for people that might be gathering for the small event, which was really in the cafe, and the housekeeping being getting people's picture taken to go with their record in my senior center, because it really truly does happen. There are multiple people with the same name, in an Irish town, very easy. And then sometimes things have been incorrect, and it would really be nice to put a face that we don't always know. It's just more people. Used to know everyone, and now I can't say that, not even myself. So photos, making sure we have the birth date, fielding questions for using My Active Center if people wanted to register online, be more comfortable with that. So we have the new member or former registration in the packet. Gail put together a couple of just fun ideas that were like school, but name that motto kind of a thing, and what's the right answer, just a little riddle sort of problem. And then also our new annual satisfaction survey. So actually, I had hoped to print these out for the packet and couldn't, but then I remembered I did have some from this morning. So I am going to pass them around because I want you to have one and to complete one if you don't mind. So you can do it at your leisure and bring it back. Feedback is fine. We can always tweak it because we only just started today with it. But it's something, as you know, from the accreditation we need and should do annually.
So again, now these are to be picked up by people as they walk in the door?
I do want to do it that way, but now that we've started this back to school idea, we may
Yeah,
still
yeah,
put them
right.
out. I just didn't know if I want to now just launch the whole survey thing, or wait, or now instead of waiting for 2 weeks, maybe we'll just decide to have this every day for people walking in. So I guess that's going to be something we talk about tomorrow, just to debrief after this morning. So stay tuned, and if I do, if we do decide to do it that way, then in addition probably to a constant contact email, maybe I'll even do a voice broadcast and just sort of announce it. That this is going on at the senior center if anybody wants to participate.
Do you have one more?
I do, absolutely.
Oh, thank you very much.
So anyway, the goal obviously is how satisfied are people who are coming here. We are looking for a little demographic info just to help with that. For instance, out of town versus in town. Question 4, the first goal of our long-range plan is to be a welcoming place for all. What is your first or regular impression of the senior center when you call or visit? So are they immediately helped, gracefully welcomed, welcomed and received maybe only partial information or when requested, or not adequately helped? So, I mean, it's not, it's just to get a sense of how people feel when they come in the door. And funny enough, after doing it, of course, I got that email about the wonderful welcome that someone did receive, so that's good. How would you rate certain things here? Helpfulness of the staff. Previously, I think it had been broken down when we did it 2 years ago to each staff person, and I just decided to take that out and just do an overall if they want to make a comment as well. And the other goal here is which programs or events do you use or attend during the year? That's one thing. What other specific activities would you like to see offered is something we're looking for. And then what areas would you like to see increased, in particular trips, entertainment, weekend events, and lifelong learning, which are areas that we want to start to dedicate a little bit more time and attention, but we can't do them all.
Right.
And so I am interested in hearing if there are preferences for those things. And then truly one of the big reasons for doing this in this way now is if we could offer more frequent and formalized lifelong learning courses or classes, what types of class topics would be of interest. So we have a slew of categories, and that's also what we're going to look at, maybe with a small committee and just to start gearing up for something that we've always meant to do but just haven't had the manpower or the time. So that's
Good, customer service.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
Okay. So Fred's been out for August and into September. He should be back next week, but Amy has been managing with really more volunteer help when we've been able to get it. And certainly she does a great job managing. Myself and Bob Clark had interviewed in August, for both the transportation and the outreach positions, which are now filled. So our new transportation coordinator started last week, our new outreach coordinator started this week. Lauren is transportation, and Lauren Manuel, and Janine Chisholm is outreach. So, onboarding and doing our best to do that. Lauren's jumped right in really and has adapted, and Stephanie's been helpful, and they know each other, so that's nice too.
Oh, good.
Or they're friends in
Yep.
fact. And Kelly is more or less overseeing more of what Janine is going to be doing and trained to do, so that's nice. We
And
left
Gail's
them.
still here?
Pardon me?
And Gail is still here?
And Gala's activities.
So you have a full house?
So we have a full house.
Yep.
So that being said, literally I had to give someone my file cabinet, which I didn't want anyway, but just saying, it was an extra person. It was something we hadn't fully furnished or staffed for everybody. So yes, in the administrative offices, myself, Jill, Gail, and transportation, Lauren, which was previously the case, but then we moved her into outreach. But now outreach has Kelly and Janine.
Okay.
So Kelly, as assistant director, not only will be taking on, as we might have mentioned last week, the volunteer
Is
oversight.
Kelly staying in
and
that same
managing.
office?
She is.
Okay.
So we did decide that was maybe the better way to go, because I think she'll be managing a little more of the outreach part.
Mhm.
And we probably always needed a little bit more attention, and we have Erica, who still is part-time, sometimes in the building, so she's got the conference room
Mhm.
refurbished, and Janine's there, and Kelly's there. So that is the lay of the land. Kelly started to dive into the volunteer piece, but I've been working on that, especially the kitchen is like a full-time job, trying to fill the replacements, as Russ well knows, and has helped out quite a bit. So that's been a challenge, getting enough people. And even the kitchen, the people don't really want to give up their spots. Everybody's got their various spots for serving, their days for serving. We did lose a person, a very, helpful person on Monday morning, but we replaced her. But the dishwashing is the big deal, so some of them came to me actually asking if we could hire someone, and I'm sure I've had that request before and simply said, we really can't do that, we don't have the means to do that. But the more I thought about it, I said, well, I suppose I could ask, and it is perhaps only 8 hours a week, and I could use the formula grant for that. So that said, we are in the process. I've got a job description. I have permission, so to speak, to do it. I thought we might have even had someone on interested, but he's not, as it turns out. So we'll probably post and see what comes of it. But the truth is, I wish I could find someone interested in the volunteer role who might also want the senior tax work-off.
Right.
But we've been told, and now multiple times really by some of the people doing the dishes, it's tough. It's tough. You're on your feet for at least 2 hours. It's heavy work. It's hot work. It's not for everybody. So it's tricky, and I can't even really imagine 4 days a week volunteer-wise. Do you know what I mean? So we have a different person each day taking it on, and sometimes it's every other week, which really is ideal, but that's a lot to field, and when they can't come, who do we get? So it's a lot. So now that I've experienced that firsthand, I do think the hiring might be better. And they've had me in the kitchen more than they want, believe me.
Can I come back to Lauren and Janine? Are they, I should know this, but are they both 30 hours?
No, they are both 35 hours.
Okay.
So there was a time that the outreach role was 25 hours, and
And we supplement.
we increased that through one of the budget, requests. That was increased, I can't say exactly how long ago now that I think about it.
Yeah.
At least since we've been in this building, certainly. And transportation has always been 35 hours.
Good.
The only part-time position is activities, which has been which was 25, went up to 30 a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
Gail actually has been working 35, and I've been paying that extra out of the formula grant with permission from the town. So
Okay.
that's fine with me, that's fine with her, we can continue that. And I'll add it to the budget request this year that it become full-time, however we fund it.
Yeah.
But after certainly hearing Freya's discussion last week about the budget challenges coming up, who knows. So the formula grant luckily has gone up. We've been kind of spending because we could, so if I end up paying more, personnel, then obviously we have to rein it in a little bit, but I think that's a good use of it anyway. We are also, speaking of that, looking at hiring another van driver. Just because we either may need backup, some of them are still working 4 or 5 days, and for a part-time job, it's just a lot. And we still don't have anyone outside of Joe who has pulled back, at least for the remainder of the year. He might be able to do 1 run a month into Boston, but that's certainly not covering us. And we are spending a lot more money when we contract Social Community Action Council to do a Boston run for us, which is right now all we can do. So we would like a driver who is willing to go into Boston, so that we can do those rides. So, to be continued. So, in lieu of a full-fledged activities report, because there was a lot else going on, and I didn't get that from Gail. This is a printout of all of our categories and the numbers for duplicated and unduplicated, which I know we always talk about for programs and activities. So maybe I thought it was actually a nice way for you to see it front and back. And some of them could be changed, but community education is one of our categories, so in that case, this is probably only one in August that was posted. It, under duplicated, it says 28, which means that's all the people who came, like 3 people must have come twice, you know what I mean?
Right.
But 25 people were unduplicated. I just want to go through. Coffee and community resources, the first item under community education says 3 for both. That means there was only 3 and there was only 1 event. So they're counted as both. 3 people came, that's all there was. Hospice care, the same, there was only 1. Essential oils, there was only 1. Office hours with select board, there was only 1. So the total of those,
18 people came for that?
essential oils, oh yeah, that's a big seller. It smells great. She does talk about what the various flavors, for lack of a better word, scents are good for. You know, everybody wants to hear that, right? Like, if you were to buy some, now that she wasn't really selling them that way right here, you can go online and buy their kits, their packages. But, oh yeah, that was big. And she's coming to the health fair also. So that'll be up here as just kind of an additional offering if somebody is interested in talking with her about what she does. So, oh, I can't believe I forgot the numbers for the individual Art for Your Mind and Live Virtual. I'm sorry. So Art for Your Mind, which of course is impressive and is the most, so 209 for the duplicated for Art for Your Mind and 182 unduplicated. That means, let's say 100 came to one and 55 came to another. And then the live virtual, that was only about, we only had about 25 people maybe come to that. So I'm just saying, that's the breakdown. Art for Your Mind has done nothing but increase. So thankfully we have the 2 now. And the Thursday afternoon, although not as high as the Wednesday morning, high enough, I mean, still pretty good. And a better time to come because you can park. I know I've said that before. Anyway, so it gives you a chance.
But that's important.
It is. So really that 209 it's a big number for the cultural, which really is mostly Art for Your Mind. Fitness and exercise, I mean, I guess I'd say kind of our bread and butter, right? You can't, 1,550 check-ins. People are normally coming to balance and or lift your spirits more than once a week. They are coming at least twice and sometimes 3 times a week depending on the offerings. The same with chair yoga, probably coming 3 times a week. Line dancing, very popular of course, so every week people are coming, but the beginner is much better attended, so 26 people. Now in August, funny, she took 1 week off. now 26 people come to line dancing times 3 weeks if they all come, right? So that's the 60. Now, certainly some may drop off and somebody else may come, but generally that's what you can find from these numbers. So lift your spirits if you go down to the middle of that column, 217 check-ins for 63 people, so, 60 times 3 times a week is even only 120. No, it's not, it's 180, sorry. So I don't know, that's a lot. That's a lot. So 30 people, I'm gonna say, come to each class. 28 maybe.
And do all these classes have a token cost?
All of the exercise classes have a cost, except the mindfulness meditation walk. We've been picking that up with the formula grant. Tai Chi, I just ask a $2 donation. I don't even really want to do that, but I do because they just feel like they should. So everything else has a cost that goes
Cardio.
not directly to the instructor, but
Cardio is free, right? Machine.
well, the
Cardio
cardio
machine.
machines are free, yes.
And actually, that to me looks like a decent number. 29 people.
It is a decent number. People are fairly regular, they
That's
use
good.
those. I didn't
Seemed like
realize that was
summertime
there.
is awfully slow.
Probably. The health screening, so the manicurist costs money, and the medical foot care costs money, and the reflexology costs money, and the Reiki costs money. And there's only one. I mean, the Reiki does not get a lot. That we could do more education on that, but I just think the cost is relatively high, and people who know about it may want it. But whereas reflexology is very reasonable, she's $30 for 30 minutes. Generally speaking, she goes over. I mean, lots over, but she doesn't rush you out of there. And the manicurist is usually full. Medical foot care, she could take more people. She doesn't fill up. It's actually a very good deal at 40. She's going up to 45 in February. But it is still a good half hour of something that most people, or some people can't do for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a RN, she is a nurse who has worked in foot care. So some of the, men's book club is very well attended and regular. In fact, I'm surprised that it only says 8 because it's up to 12 or 14. Well, there's your shine number, Elaine, under information sharing. So 12 people, if she generally gets 4.
Information sharing board meeting.
Now, that's a point, and not to bring up here,
Should
but
be higher. Right.
it should be higher.
Right.
And it probably is higher,
Okay.
which Elaine knows, but what happens is they sign up on a sign-up sheet, not the system, and we should ask them to check in, and/or are they even registered, but because often the Monday morning is very busy, it just doesn't get done, so that has to be somehow figured out.
Typically, I have 5 of them.
And then we let them go, and then it's like, oh my God, we didn't get that person. Get them back. But then we can't get them back unless they want to. So some of them, granted, are turning 65 and may not be ready to come in, and maybe they're still working, but others certainly can come in. So the instructional, I don't have to go through every one, you can, but the instructional is education, basically. Some kind of lifelong learning, I suppose, with Bob's classes, the writing groups, funny enough, of which there are 2. So for some reason, one is here and one is somewhere else. But the Tech Talk with Katie is the iPad, iPhone training. The wood turning, which just started, is instruction in wood turning. And Spanish, Mahjong, everybody gets to learn something here. Other than recreation, which is all free stuff, right? So bocce and movies and card games and whatnot. And then the social events, which, up to this point, we've not charged for. The Friends have graciously done a lot of the entertainment. I have still done some. So the community music, I guess that was a little disconnect because I ended up paying them cash. I didn't ask, I guess, in time. So, or at all. So I didn't ask for that money.
You do charge for them in breakfast?
$5 and $5 for lunch, yes. The cafe, they still buy the lunches that are to go. and what the Veterans Guardian would charge for those sorts of things. And then social services is our outreach services when they come in for an appointment, the support group, resources for caregivers. We could also put the information sharing, some of those things under social services, but we have not. It sometimes is very hard to decide what to put them under.
Where to categorize.
But I think this is one, this is helpful maybe for you when somebody asks, well, how many people did come in a month? I sometimes struggle with that still because I've seen the number, but is it fairly regular? I mean, that said, we're looking at 769 people checked in for a month. Now, we know we didn't get everybody checked in, so let's go up to 800. It's been 1,000 certainly, so maybe the summer was a little later, maybe August was a little quieter. But the check-ins themselves mean people are coming that often. So certainly annually, I think I've been able to say, I mean, we might see 2,400 people come through the door.
And
So this is just one
10 to 12,000
Yes.
a year.
So that's something nice to be able to say. I do also have the numbers, you didn't get these printouts because I couldn't print them, but total people served is a higher number because it's not just events, it's rides, it's services, it's volunteers, it's trips. So that was closer to 900.
Yeah.
And then average check-ins, let's call it, per weekday. So funny enough, Monday is 171 people check in. Wednesday is 179 and Thursday is 175. So that's funny. Those are all very busy days, as you know. Now that was August average. It would be more if I did September at the end of the month, so you'll see that next week. And Tuesday's only 116, Friday's only 112. That's still pretty good. So average per day for the whole month is 150 people. So that number, I could say at least 150 people a day. And that was probably one of our latest months. Maybe we'd say January and August, our latest month. So that's helpful information, I think, that maybe you would like to know.
This was helpful. Categorized this way, yeah.
Okay. Moving on, sorry, you just have me. So Kelly did this outreach report, showed Janine what she was doing when she was producing it and how we get these numbers, which again is related directly to my senior center and the input. So if we don't put it in, we don't get it out. I mean, I could get 3 phone calls myself and answer a couple of questions for people just because I can. I need to put that in the system and I may not. And was it a 15-minute phone call? I feel like lawyers sometimes, when you really have to account for your time spent. But farmer's market is farmer's market coupons, which were given out to, well, I think at this point she may have 1 left. So 20, I think we get 25. And so really, I don't know why that number's not 24. But handyman.
Do we give them out here or just the food bank?
We give them out to people, and
Okay.
they come from social outreach services where they can use farmers markets.
Okay. Oh.
Spend them at farmers markets, designated farmers markets.
Okay.
The food pantry's separate.
Gotcha.
And we would help someone sign up for the food pantry. They help them sign up themselves too, so we could just send them over, but if somebody needs a little assistance, then we would do it. Inquiries about home care private pay, they may be giving out people's names that they know could be available or used, or Kelly might call them herself and see if they might like to meet with someone and if they'd be available for private pay home care. So it goes both ways. Advocacy, somebody just has a question about something. The Alzheimer's dementia is, so 4 people have maybe been met with, interviewed, for the program. And like I said, sometimes it hasn't necessarily worked out, but they've been in and possibly participated. SNAP, that's a big thing, of course, getting people on that program.
Have you seen some of those benefits drop?
The dollar figure has dropped.
Yes.
People seem to be able to get something, but it has dropped, yes. I was hearing from Patrick Kearney's legislative aide today, who was here for her hour. Sometimes he comes, often she comes. But about the electric and gas, she said it's going to start gearing up, that people will be complaining or also looking for some sort of help with, well, gas. In
Utility.
particular, there's now a delivery fee being
Yep.
placed on the bill, which even far exceeds the monthly cost of the gas itself. And it's really a state thing, it's a governor thing, and so they're trying to get money when they can for something they know they will need the money for later when they don't have something else, the resources. So it's a little crazy. So I don't know about that so much. So we'll see what, we no longer have that water program through the state or the Social Community Action Council agency, but we do still have fuel assistance. And the electric bills, I hope, have been helped by the town's participation in the special program that caps, your
The aggregation.
usage costs. Yep. So if people weren't on it, that would be something maybe we would try to help them get on. So anyway, there's lots of these. They're so varied, it's very hard to just look at the landscape and say, oh God, they're all over the place, which the help is all over the place.
There are some cheaper options for people for electricity.
Yeah.
If they went to like Clear Vision is one that
Mhm.
is substantially
Mhm.
lower, and the prices for electricity just went up.
Ah,
So,
Well,
because it's
that-
the winter season, so, yeah.
but then we're supposed to lock in before that happens. Hopefully, we don't know as far as the town program goes, do you know what I mean?
Town's locked in for 3 years.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
Okay,
so as part of that program, we're not supposed to see that
but I
increase.
think the town, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think the town is like 15 cents a kilowatt hour, and Clear Vision is 13 and a half. So that's a little bit of a savings for
Yeah.
some people.
That's something to know.
But you can't do it if you're already in the other program, right?
Oh, no, you can pop right in.
You gotta opt out now.
Oh, you can.
You can do that.
Oh,
There is, so for some of them, if you select a third-party supplier, like Clear Vision or someone like that, sometimes they have like a $150 penalty if you leave before the term is up. And like, right now, I think their shortest term is like 9 months. And so, yeah, it's.
Yeah, so if you opt out, you gotta stay in for 9 months, or you owe that fee
Right.
to change it.
But are the towns thing, are you charged a fee if you jump
No,
out?
there's no fee.
No,
You can just go in and out.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good to know. I'll pass that on. I'm not heard about that myself, so I don't know if Kelly knows. So we will get Janine acclimated to some of these things, so I'm sure it'll be a busier season. As you know from, at least the last month's meeting, Kelly continues to do the newcomers meet and greet, which, is gaining some popularity, I guess. And the resources for caregivers, the second caregiver support group each month, even though it happens first in the month, so it's the first, now it's going to be the first Wednesday, I guess. And the long time caregiver support group is the third Wednesday of the month at noon. Kelly's is at 9:30. So, and the difference is, Suzanne, as a fully licensed social worker, is there to facilitate and offer some maybe guidance for how people are managing. And Kelly is trying to help them manage with resources and know about resources and connect with each other, which they really wanted to do more than once a month. So it's been a good addition. Our handyman men, we have 2, but also for bigger jobs, Kelly does refer out to South Shore Habitat for Humanity, which is a great resource, of course, in Weymouth. But we have 2 guys that are willing and do some smaller jobs for people when she calls. And then and social work, I mean, Erica has been here, it has been involved in some of the client work that Kelly has had to do, and now will be more familiar with Janine and help out as well. She is still regional with that collaborative for both for Scituate, Cohasset, and Hingham, working together through that grant.
How long does the grant last?
I think multiple years, I believe, so it's not short term. I don't know specifically. And last but not least, the transportation report was produced by Lauren with Kelly's help. So we're just seeing the month of August, but honestly still, and that wasn't Lauren in place, obviously that was, as you knew from last month, Kelly doing double duty for the most part, with some of us helping out, but not really. Anyway, we did try. So the numbers are consistent, 370 is certainly consistent. I have last month's in front of me, of
I would
course.
say,
I needed it, but it was right there.
370 and 410.
Oh,
So the out of town, are those all Boston?
no, those are not all Boston. I mean, honestly, I didn't do one last month, sorry. I want to say the bulk, I mean, they are all over the place, but the bulk is probably Hanover, Norwell, Weymouth, you know, the Libby Park and the Stetson Building, I mean, the bulk of the out of town, but there is Quincy, there is Plymouth. Maybe Sandwich, just for Spalding is down there,
Okay.
occasionally.
Right.
And then the Boston requests. And there are in town, so there are also in town, well, 13 is for 1 month, it's not really that bad. Cohasset might be considered out of town as well, so there are medical offices there that they might go to.
So each one of these, the driver is waiting? Is that right?
Yes, or sometimes it is a puzzle, and if someone could be dropped in Weymouth, and the driver may continue on to Quincy with another rider, maybe wait there, or then go back, and then go back.
Okay,
And
so
there is a little of that, and
Yeah.
when they can, they do, which is great. We hate to see the vans with one rider.
Right, right.
Although Boston, more likely, but even the Boston ride, maybe he's taking and dropping someone off on the way in and then coming back on the way out. So there is waiting involved, but not always just for one person. And, honestly, and I think she says this here, so 62 of these being for unduplicated clients, and that means basically 62 people riding for the 370 rides, you know what I mean? So there's lots of multiple rides in there. And that I would attribute, there's 2 or 3 times a week dialysis, there's some like that are regular. 190 out of town, which of course you can see. But the remaining 167 rides were for local shopping, trips to the senior center, and miscellaneous local rides. So that's a lot, and that does hopefully let you know that really they're coming here often for lunch, some activities. And so that's good. And we're sort of waiting to be able to do that, for a long time. So that's good news. In addition to those 167 rides here given by us, some people are using the GATRA public service to get here or to get home as well. And that's when we can't do it. Maybe 1 or 2 might prefer it, I don't know. It's a little, not to say easier, but they can do it on the fly and they can just call on demand and maybe it'll work. Not always. There was a cancellation today of someone here right before they were supposed to pick up by GATRA, so that's not good. And we probably will do something about that or have something to say about that. But we were able to get that person home. She just had to wait. So that happens.
So Gatra canceled on them?
Yes. And we have heard that and we have complained about that.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
No, and that would happen too. And we don't even want to encourage them to do this, but they could be here and somebody could say, oh, we'll drive her home. But then she has to cancel that ride that she has. And, you don't want to do that too often because then they may not take the reservation. So we don't encourage that, it does happen. Anyway, so that's Lauren's report, but on the second page, She does, well, show you, I guess, at least the drivers
Drivers.
currently being used and their days, which, as I look at this, you know, Wednesday and Thursday, there's 3 vans, 3 drivers on the road, and I guess maybe also Monday. Which is pretty good, and we want that, certainly.
And maybe another person to be there on Tuesdays and Fridays, eh?
That could be, I mean, Friday's generally speaking a lighter day all around, but we've got one, and we've got Tom, but probably. Tuesday could probably use
One more.
more drivers, yeah, so that's good to know. So that's a breakdown anyway, so that, boy, that's some information for you kids to understand and know. Did I forget anything? I don't think so. I did complete a new, you know, dates for the meetings, which I apologize for. I mean, not everybody's, you know, on the schedule, like second Thursday, you're in and you know what's happening. So I was very late. I just couldn't get to that email for some reason this week. At least I posted when I was supposed to. But then I couldn't copy this or print this, so I will send it electronically to you. And you will have it. And moving on, we have a staff person assigned each time in addition to Kelly, so you can see now that we will have a full 15 people around the table if everybody comes. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Although I like this number too. So, I think I'm right.
All done.
All done.
Does anyone have any questions for Linda? Threw a lot of numbers out. Thank you. I know Freya sent a note saying she couldn't attend. I don't have any other updates from her in terms of any hot items at the select board.
No,
so-
funny enough, though, she mentioned last month that the Water Resources Committee, no, the Harbor Waterways Commission, I'm sorry, was not going through. She mentioned that at this meeting last month, and they really only voted on it last night, funny enough. And then it went out to the town that if you subscribe to either the emails or the YouTube, you know, SCTV video, they voted last night against the Harbor Masters building. So she told you why. That was funny. So she had early knowledge
Redoing the
that this was
community-
happening.
community. Right? Oh, no, the Harbor Master.
The Harbor Masters building was voted down, I assume primarily for the reason she gave last week about the whole harbor being looked at through the reading, so. Anyway, but I just thought that was
Okay.
neither here nor
Okay. Elaine, what's going on with Falls?
We've been quiet, we haven't met since July. We have our next meeting coming up next week, but we've been working off-site for the holiday fair. And we've already got
Early November, middle of November?
November 15th.
Yeah.
4 vendors already signed up. The last I heard, we were waiting for a confirmation from Santa and Mrs. Claus.
I did hear about that.
She got the confirmation?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
They will be there.
Good.
We have the food truck that we had last year, which was from Greenbush. I think it was from Lucky Fins.
Yes.
But that's on Saturday.
Saturday,
Yeah.
and can do too. I think that was all I had on that.
Okay. Well, it's good to know we grabbed Santa and Mrs. Claus.
I
Yes,
know.
okay.
They were really popular last year. I was the elf that helped them. I know that. And we took, I think, over 100 family photos,
Oh.
which was really nice. Some of them 3 generations.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was just very, very nice. So,
Always a popular hit.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I interject?
You
Before I
can.
forget, and before we move on, I should have mentioned that upcoming, the Senior Center Health Fair, Fall into Wellness,
October
is
3rd.
Friday, October 3rd, and everyone hopefully should know. We are this year partnering with Social Hospitals Friends, who, are assisting with some of the offerings, certainly from there, which is great, some professionals, and I can't recount all of the resources that they're bringing, but it seemed like a nice idea for 1 year. They have done it for a couple of years and moved it to do 2 different places. Once was in Braintree, I can't remember where the other one was. So it's a nice partnership, and in the future, of course, and in the past, we've used social hospital resources for some of the programs that we've done. So good to reconnect with them, and they are bringing some things that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to get.
October what?
3rd, it's a Friday. And we have
Will
started.
they be doing breakout rooms?
There will be breakout sessions,
Good.
there's more than a few, actually.
Yeah, good.
Okay, just wanted to mention that.
Kenzie, South Shoreland Services,
Well,
report out.
the good news is that anybody who has asked for services has gotten
Still got it.
services.
Good.
It's still precarious because the state has only paid 1 month of the 4th quarter that they owe. So as of the 1st of the month, they still hadn't paid 2 quarters. So that's a significant amount of money. So they will be paying it. Met with aging, the Department on Aging, which is now called AGE. And, looking for ways that there may be collaboration or that AGE might be able to give some assistance to the locals. And we're waiting to see what will happen. There was a commitment that they would look at and support anything that they possibly could, but that's like, whoop, I mean, who knows, right? So it feels as if everybody's on their own, in order to get through this time.
I mean, the Executive Office of Aging and Independence is their new name, AGE, I know,
Yeah,
but
age, they call
they
it
are
age.
that's our umbrella.
I know,
So,
and it's like,
They
I
have
mean,
many,
there aren't that many people there, and they're going through a reorganization, and something that I didn't know last time I came was that there is pressure coming from the feds because they're reorganizing into something called the Administration of Community Living, which is going to combine all ages together, which means that aging won't get the special attention that it gets from the aging department. So that's going to create its own set of problems, and then the state is going to have to accommodate to what they're doing at the federal level, which means that I don't know how they'll reorg, but they're going to have to do something
Well-
to reorganize together in order to,
okay.
Be funded.
seamlessly work
I
with
mean,
the feds.
this is our government, this is our state government,
Yeah.
our department. I don't know that they have to reflect what the federal government.
No, they don't
does.
have to, they don't have to mimic it, but they do have to figure out a way that they can integrate their needs with what the feds are offering. Because the feds are going to offer it, this is my suspicion, in a different way than they do now. Because having a singular department on aging means that that's the sole focus of that department. When they become part of a larger, multi-generational department dealing with everything from newborns or pregnancies to elders, it's going to be very, very different. So that's something that's not too exciting. I mean, if you think about, if you're a real person who sees the best of everything, it could be wonderful. I'm not personally expecting it to be wonderful, but there is a potential there. And if the department continues through multiple presidents and administrations, it could evolve into something really spectacular. But we'll all see.
Yeah, I see that vision.
Anyway, and that's like the biggest news that I have, is that there's really no change.
Okay. Okay, but that means there hasn't been a downsizing, there hasn't been
No.
budget cuts, there hasn't been.
No, I mean,
Right.
some of, not South
It's
Shore,
tight,
but
the budget,
some,
but
some
status
of,
quo.
there's been reorganization on the nutrition side. So that there's there are less places for deliveries. And in some of the places where they were getting individual deliveries, they're now getting congregate deliveries. And they have pulled together some of the congregate sites where they actually serve the meal rather than give out Meals on Wheels. And so that's worked very, very well, actually. But those are, those are small things that you can do. There are limits to how much you can save, and nobody has lost a meal. No one has lost access to meals. And that's the really important.
Good.
The volunteers that deliver the Meals on Wheels, they recruited through social elders or through you?
Social elders.
Others.
Yes, and the Scituate seniors have taken over one other town because they couldn't find any volunteers.
Cohasset, right?
Yes, it is Cohasset. I was trying not to say, but yes, it is Cohasset.
So what do you mean the Scituate seniors?
Well,
We're
the
delivering to
Scituate volunteers who do it in Scituate
Oh, they're not just
have taken on the additional burden of now
Yeah,
delivering
delivering.
into Cohasset. And there aren't a lot, but they couldn't get a single volunteer in Cohasset. So,
Yeah. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? And business, comments? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
We can move to
We're-
adjourn.
We're a quick 1 hour on the nose tonight.
whoa.
And it's exactly
6:05 adjournment, right on schedule, absolutely. Very good, thanks, everybody.